Well, the Baltimore state's attorney is trying to revoke the bail of a man who police say committed murder just before Christmas at a bar in Fells Point.
Let's bring it all back to you. Philip West is his name, and he is accused of the first-degree murder of Rodney Beeman inside the Blarney Stone Pub, which is on Broadway. Now, yesterday, West had his hearing in which the judge granted him a $100,000 bail. West posted it and is back home tonight and is being monitored. As you can imagine, this story got reaction from Baltimore down to Annapolis and back again. WMAR 2 News' Brian Kubler has it all for us.
Philip West had turned himself in. Police said he shot and killed a man in a Fells Point bar days before Christmas. But faced with first and second-degree murder and a slew of gun charges, Judge Michael Studdard still set a bail at only $100,000. West posted that bail and is at home on electronic monitoring.
At a time when communities are already deeply concerned about violence, that we put public safety first, and it's frustrating to see this type of decision.
Councilman Zeke Cohen, who represents Fells Point, was astounded by the decision, as was the interim police commissioner and City State's Attorney Marilyn Mosby, who said in an unrelated press conference yesterday her prosecutors wanted no bail for Mr. West.
We made a recommendation that this individual be held without bail, and unfortunately he wasn't. And
so Mosby's office asked yet again. Today, the Baltimore State's attorney filed this motion to revoke the bail of Philip West, arguing again that he is indeed a flight risk and a threat to public safety. Among the reasons, claiming the evidence against him is, quote, overwhelming, and that several witnesses observed him, quote, publicly execute the victim.
It seems to me to be outrageous.
The governor is inclined to agree, even as Judge Michael Studdard was one of his appointees in 2016. Hogan has been very vocal about what he calls the leniency of judges, particularly in Baltimore. He plans to address it this session with what he called judicial transparency legislation.
This kind of thing happens far too often. If somebody was, charged with a crime like that, it seems like they shouldn't be right back on the streets.
But West's attorney, Kenneth Ravenel, called the judge's actions thoughtful and points out how his client turned himself in, and while he has a record of federal drug charges, he has no history of violence. A hearing on the state's attorney's motion to revoke his bail has yet to be set. In Baltimore, Brian Kubler, WMAR 2 News.